this two, the winner of the match will be the sole leader. If they draw, then others can have a chance to catch up. And here we have a Sicilian defense structures.
Yeah, it's interesting that others include Salimova only. When you say others can catch up, but in fact,
if S was extra there, I apologize.
No. I mean, it's just that usually it's exactly the case. Like it's a race, and you always have to keep winning the games because otherwise, like a bunch of people catch you up. But now there is quite a difference, right? So it's only if Salimova wins, it becomes three-way tie. It's a strange opening, I want to say. So d6, I mean, nothing strange so far. A check on b5 and knight d7 by some, I don't know, agreement, I want to say, between strong players is considered to be the main response to this check. I still have no clue whatsoever what's wrong with bishop d7, but nobody seemed to be playing it. Castles, a6, and bishop d7. Yeah. Speaking of castles, was it Jesse Penko to play bishop a4? I think it was him, right? After castles a6, you can also play bishop d3, right? I think that used to be one of the lines as well. Bishop takes d7 is... I don't even know. I mean, it's an attempt to play the kind of normal Sicilian, but just trade the bishop away. Queen d3, e5, knight b3, rook to c8. So white isn't on time to set up c4, knight c3, I assume. Therefore, goes for knight c3. No, but this is just a Sicilian where black got the time to trade, to trade the light square bishop. And the next move is very, very typical of those Sicilian setups as well. It's h7, h6, because I don't know if black had to do it, but the desire to avoid bishop g5 trade and white seizing control over d5 is sort of understandable. So h7, h6 is, well, typical move. Let's call it this. Okay, a4, expanding on the queen side. But I believe black has little to worry about, to be honest. I mean, just finish the development, maybe start with bishop e6, because you have a threat, right? Start with bishop e6, then go bishop e7. I wonder if you can allow yourself to be even greedier and to play queen c7 first, so that after bishop e3, bishop e6, white would not have knight d5, right? Because now c2 pawn is hanging. Because if you start with bishop e6, I guess white's point is that he goes knight d5, and then you cannot tolerate this knight forever on d5. You'll have to trade, and that's a big question. What takes on d5, right?
You can take this one with knight in this case.
Take with the knight, okay, you move
withdraw bishop d7. And here in this structure, it's like double-edged position where white goes c4, tries to go c5, and black can go like short castle and f5. So for that, you need bishop e7.
Yeah, like if it starts being about black pushing like f5 and so on, I think black's already fine. So when we enter this position with white, I guess what we're looking for is like quickly set up some problems. But
yeah, I think a5 here for black. Like black has to also set up the queen side with a5, b6 to avoid c5.
a5 could be, actually, even f4 might be dangerous, because usually what happens is when black has... There is one more pair of knights on the board, right? Typically. And then, like, when you go f4, black gets this e5 square for his knights. And now this might be a very serious difference. The white goes f4, and I'm afraid a5 is too slow, so black has to do something else, like queen to c7 maybe anyway, allows c5, and hope that it holds somehow. Anyway, that's a very sharp position after h6,
Yeah, in fact,
a4.
when we looked at this position and 95 created already so much master black, this queen c7 idea makes more sense.
Yeah,
here.
queen c7 is interesting, yeah, and also you are not forced to go bishop e6. It's just that it was my attempt to kind of force matters a little bit because bishop e6 threatens bishop c4 and so on. You are free to play bishop e7, right? Just play bishop e7, castles, and then decide if you want to go for bishop e6 or something else. So, honestly, I think not only black has equalized, but potentially it's white who has to be careful. Because, two bishops is two bishops. Other than that, it's absolutely normal, traditional, I want to say, setup, structure-wise, right?
Right, yeah. Very typical of Sicilian
Knight
defense.
I think, yeah, that's more of a knight of setup. Once again, usually you have all four pairs of minor pieces on the board, so it'd be some bishop on e2, and black would have by that point bishop on e6, knight on d7, let's say. So that's what we are talking about. So it's not exactly the same, but the structure is very similar, right?
It is super similar. And this game can get somewhere very interesting. Let's take a look at the third categories. We have open category and we have girls category. And today we do have in the both sections higher pointed players playing against each other. And one of these we can see right now on the board. This is girls' boards.
Yeah. So right before the break, we figured out there was something with moves relay, but yeah, it's got updated. So now we do have actual positions on your screen, guys. And that's the top board in the girls section. So Asel Serikbay from Kazakhstan, a surprise leader, perhaps, right? So she's not among the top seeds, rated 2181. She has the white pieces against the other leader, Govhar Beydullayeva from Azerbaijan. Okay, so quite an original Sicilian, that is, I want to say. And yes, indeed, remember I was trying to figure out what were the moves looking at the camera view, and indeed it was knight to d2, not bishop to d2 here. So the knight has nothing to do on b3, therefore white starts transitioning kind of knight to d2 to f1 to e3. And a bit of a surprise is that black reacted kind of indifferently with rook e8. So the game saw rook e8, knight f1, bishop e6, and what I'm saying that rook e8 doesn't seem to be kind of top priority for blacks. Perhaps one should prefer bishop e6, like knight d5 is not yet an issue because at the very end, like you take on d5 with the bishop and c2 is hanging, therefore you might as well start with bishop e6, and then after knight f1 you'll have kind of bunch of options. Bishop c4 is there, or queen c4, that's what they do very often. Or you might end up playing rook e8, but just to start with bishop e6 seems to be more appropriate. Anyway, rook e8 played, knight f1, and then black goes bishop e6, and knight e3 is very...
What's the idea really of rook e8 and not rook d8?
You should ask her. I guess she's kind of banking on the fact that eventually white will play knight d5 and you will take, and white takes with the pawn, and then rook is kind of better placed on e8. Yeah.
Okay.
So knight e3, I believe, will be the next move anyway, and then who knows? Maybe black just goes bishop f8 and prepares, the usual g6 and bishop to g7 once again in case of white's knight d5. This seems to be a usual transformation. And then
So
g6
perhaps
and
she
so on.
thinks that d5 will be anyway closed by both of the whites and blacks pawns, and
Yes.
she wants to have because rook 8 is not something that we see very often in Sicilian pawn structure. Rook usually goes on d8, tries to push d5, but now d5 is impossible because of these two knights. So, yeah, that's interesting move indeed.
Yes, after knight e3. Well, black's kind of main problem in this position that it's very hard to organize kind of real counterplay. So black is getting ready for white to play knight d5, but white is not in a hurry to do so. And if you just say, don't touch anything, play bishop f8, play g6, white might as well prepare something of that nature, like b3, and especially bishop g7 is probably just a bad move. Bishop g7, and then some knight a4 might happen, and then that's the point. So knight to b6 and c2, c4, completely paralyzing black's counterplay on in the center and on the queen side. So black should try to find some source of counterplay, and it's not that easy to do. It's not that easy to do. What's interesting, you're saying rook d8, but yeah, maybe in order to push d5, but there is also the other idea in such positions. Sometimes they actually go for b5, a b5, queen b6, right? A b6, en passant, queen b6. Here it's impossible, or rather connected with pawn sacrifice. Maybe you can sacrifice the pawn, but you'd lose a pawn on a6. So oftentimes it's rook f goes to c8 and the other rook stays on a8. And I believe black would have been better off in this position, also having this kind of setup. But easier said than done. A rook on c8 is already there from quite a while, right? So it's not like black had that much of a choice. Anyway, position seems to be, kind of balanced for the time being.
Oh, it's here black considering knight g4 kind of move?
Yeah, but again, knight to d5. You mean like knight d5, black?
Yeah, black takes, and maybe that's why rook to e8 has been played to guard the bishop
So
on
the
e7.
bishop is guarding. And if this knight, he'll take nevertheless, right?
Something
And
like
then
queen c5 next.
there is still a pin there.
Right.
Yeah, maybe knight g4, maybe. It's not not very natural, but who knows? Well, the thing with knight g4 is that I might just play f3, knight takes, bishop takes, so it kind of helps me develop. And then I'll guard c2 with rook d2, right? And eventually we'll play knight d5, so maybe that's an option. So here black probably will have to return the rook back and opt for an early f5.
Yeah, that's right. Let's now go to the game on the third board.
Beydullayeva, last time we've seen she had better chances. Not sure what's going on anymore. Well, it's been a lot of stuff happening since our last visit. Trade here, rook e1. This knight is great. But yeah, but that can be pretty much anything in this position, because potentially white, it's kind of white setup on the queen side is always better, up to the point that you win like one of those pawns with black, right? So if we're talking some endgame, white always has counter chances. And
yeah, but as now these pawns are a bit too pushed on the queen side, it creates so much weaknesses on the dark side. So bishop f5, second the knight has no d4 square here.
Yeah, bishop f5 anyway.
The problem is if white is going to guard this knight with the rook, then white will lose the control file. So the question is where the knight goes.
Queen f2 maybe to hint at knight d4. If we trade, I don't think black is seriously better.
Well, after queen c3 here.
I still think knight d4 is an option, right?
Knight d4.
Knight d4 and I mean, at least for kind of from human standpoint, I'm not very happy that my queen is kind of got cut off from the king. Maybe it's good for black. But yeah, knight d4 and want to play knight e6, perhaps, or rook c1 and then knight e6. It's a very hard position to play, I want to say. Yeah, bishop f5's played, obviously. If you don't play queen f2, I'm actually very pessimistic about white's chances. Like knight on b4 doesn't do anything. On a3, perhaps even worse than on b4.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe queen f2 is the only move. So it is getting tense. And interestingly, yeah, girls' tournament is much more tense than the open section today. None of the top 10 games finished.
No.
Well, a couple of them look decided, if you ask me. Like they sport 3 complete. Hang on a second, bishop f5, white did play queen f2, black went for rook e5. Okay, interesting. So black intends to double the rooks on the e file, and I guess if white would have taken on e5, so d take e5 would changing the
Mira,
structure.
Sorry to interrupt you, but some blunder has
Yes.
happened on the second board, and we should get away there because this game might end soon.
Well, the leaders have pressure on them because in the girls section, right? Because if they make a draw, Salimova is catching up, and also there'll be, well, at least Hajieva and maybe someone else half a point behind. Okay.
Yeah, let's now take a look.
Let's
at
update.
the,
Yeah, let's update. Black.
Look at the situation. The engine goes so negative for white here.
Queen h5, queen f3. Why is that? Because we can take the pawn over. It's a bit confusing, right? Queen takes h2 is an option. I wonder if g4 is not, right? g4 is not an option here. g4 not. Oh, well, it could be. Yeah, g4 finally figured out that queen f4 loses to rook f8. Okay, so g4 is a possible move as well. Queen takes h2, just wins the pawn and threatens queen h1. So might as well. Has chances, serious chances. Move, what's that? Move 36, so still 5 more moves to reach the time control.
Oof, after this move, queen f3, and as the pawn is now hanging, and black can simply take, but black is taking here some time.
She could play h3,
yeah,
right?
That's so surprising why she made
Play
this
h3.
decision.
It looks ugly, but what to do? Queen f3. It's kind of a desperate attempt to trade the queens, or rather offer queens trade. Black is absolutely free not to take it. And yeah, g4 seems to be. Yeah, perhaps g4 just wins. Look, if you cannot take here. And I believe you cannot go to f2 because g3 question mark? Yeah.
So the idea is that
g3 would
after
win.
h takes g3, now you have a
It's a
check.
check, yeah.
And you're taking rook on e1 and
Rook
you're losing the queen.
And win the queen, yeah. So this one wins. Queen f4 loses to rook f8. And if queen goes somewhere here, perhaps g3 nevertheless, right? Well, once again, the board says black's completely winning. If anything, you can play rook e3. Chase the queen away even more, and then eventually when you take on h2, like...
g4 has been found here by black, and she didn't want for queen h2.
Oh yeah, she didn't play it, yeah.
Queen
g4,
d3.
queen d3, so maybe one last precise move is needed. By the way, I have no clue whatsoever if it's rook e3 or something else. Rook e3 seems sufficient, but might be...
Might be f3, it might be g3, or any of these moves.
f3,
looking
like
really
I
good.
wasn't sure if white takes, do we really win? I mean, we probably do. And black is better, even if black is not winning immediately, right? Black is always better. It's just that you're looking for the utmost precise way. Okay, more results followed. So Jana Schneider wins against Kubova, Anna Maria. If Beydullayeva wins. Yesterday she had completely winning position, as we remember, but yeah, let it slip. F3. Okay, F3 rook takes E5. Let's find out if F3 actually wins. It probably does, but somehow, yeah, like you take, and let's say, I'm not even sure what white's supposed to do. I take on G3, you have a, no, it's not clear. No, I'm not convinced with F3.
What happens
I mean,
after G takes F here?
You probably do win. G takes. You mean I'm getting checkmated? Very likely.
In a few moves.
Very likely. King. Yeah. Not even clear. Somehow I had an illusion that you'll have difficulties moving the queen. So probably taking on G3 is stupid. I have to do something else, like go to G1. Then it's still winning. Or what else can I do? What else can I do? Because black's threat is... Actually, I'm not sure. Thought of queen takes H2, but then it allows a check on G6. It's not that clear. I guess the move had been made. Yeah, white certainly just played the move I've seen from a camera view, so we just need to wait for, the electronic board software to pick it up. And Salimova, Beydullayeva, she does have 5 more minutes. She's quite comfortable, in fact. Still no move. Rook D2, pardon. Rook D2. So trying to guard the second rank, right? That's a big question. Like, queen takes H2 and white has a check on G6. Because, you cannot guard your own king.
I'm not very positive about giving a possibility to give a check on G6.
How about we calculate lines and run away? So this...
There are many ways, actually.
We go to A7, right? Because now the checks left are from here. And the second line...
You seriously want to take this H2 pawn here in this game, right?
Oh, why not? Because if there is no perpetual, it wins immediately. That's the point. Maybe G3 wins. G wins without.
Looks very
maybe
winning.
G3 wins without calculation.
Without giving
of course,
any possible check.
See, it doesn't win. Now some computer found something. No, this is impossible to analyze. Can you believe there is a move? Because I don't. I don't know.
I hardly believe that you can find this move in 1 minute and 20 seconds.
H3 maybe. No, but seriously, if queen takes H2, this check, and we go here, and after this check we go... No, again, I'm making a mistake. Queen D6, right? Queen D6 is annoying. Then, how do we trick? Here, check on the 7th rank, maybe C7 to keep the rook pinned, and we run somewhere. But that's, Beydullayeva yesterday, her king was under some checks, and she was a little bit scared.
I don't believe that she would go for this.
Probably she will not go. She will not take on H2. And you're absolutely right that there should be some other way of winning this position. But still, she's not that. I mean, if she would have had kind of half an hour, then you can wait and calculate everything. Maybe take on h2.
She just
maybe.
need one move, and for me, I don't know, like king g7 makes more sense to avoid to get the time and also to avoid all these checks. She actually made a move.
She needs
see.
two. Yeah, king g7,
G7
is played. That's correct.
Yeah.
And the question is, I think white captured on f. No. White to move still, right? White still to move. King g7. There is one more move for both players, right? It's one more move for both players. Okay. And yeah, let's, I mean, it's like one last move before the time trouble is over, okay? On the first board. So we can't
we have
really
to wait.
we can't really leave it right.
40 seconds.
Look. So what happens here is, wait a second. You said all decisive games on top 10. Not only that, but also all games so far won with white in the guild section. So impressed. Of course, there will be some victories for black, like for instance here. GF3, and that's pretty much game over. They've reached move 40, but how do you guard this king? So it seems to be Beydullayeva who is winning. All right,
Yeah, as we have reached
one, black, as we found out, is completely winning right after the time trouble after they've reached move 40. Perhaps white's last chance of fighting for a draw was not to take on f3, and she did it. It was move 40, move 40. You want clarity, you just take, right? So takes, but since then it's already too late. So white played another two moves. Now it's Beydullayeva who's to move, and I guess she needs to play a king move to unpin the rook. And there'll be two threats, rook to not to e2, to e1, or rook to g5, and I don't think white can deal both of those, right?
Well,
so
I
maybe
can
with
see.
like king to g8, right? So that not to run into this queen f4 check, because I was originally thinking king f8.
Yeah, but after queen f4, there's king e7 move, and
Anyway,
the king
yeah.
hides. King
Maybe
j8 also
king G8.
looks very tempting with the
King
same
G8,
ideas.
And then, yeah, once again, threat, this is a threat. Queen f2. How do we win after queen f2? Just check and rook g2 wins, right? Check g2 is a win.
Nice.
Okay, so this is it. And this is it. So Beydullayeva very likely to win and grab the lead. Then on board 4, Miriam finished one after the other, right? Okay. We to board 1 where black move, and it is king f7. Fair enough. As we agreed, king f7 also wins, because after this check you can go to e7 perhaps, right? Yeah, just go to e7. Hang on. Do you win with rook f5 just in case? No, you don't, right? Maybe you
checks,
do.
huh?
Maybe you do. Takes over here. No, you don't need to. I mean, even if you win, you don't need to do this. Rook g5 goes. You probably do win, but somehow it's somewhat tricky. Yeah, you probably don't want to be this. Just go king and win slowly. All right, that's board 1, and we are waiting for Beydullayeva to convert. Yeah.
A few more moves left, actually. White can't really do much here. So, and also look at the time. White has spent all the time on the clock, 8 minutes for her, so that slows down
Queen 6.
the end of this game.
Queen b6. All right. So how does black win it? e1, rook f1, king e3, f2. Do we win like this? Somehow it's still not obvious to me. And queen e2 wins, okay. Okay, queen e2 wins. So that when you take the rook, it's a check, and second queen happens to be a check. Rook e1 is winning, rook g5 I believe wins as well. So it's up to Beydullayeva to pick up the winning method. And it's not that white is threatening an awful lot. It's actually one check to which black has rook e7 as an answer. So you also win with queen h4, it means, right? And then it's like impossible to stop rook e1.
That's right.
I mean, you can check rook e7 and then...
You can also start with rook g5 check. And then...
Rook g5, yeah, but that's, I think, already was figured out. Yeah, check here. And you mean like take
yeah.
on h2? Yeah.
We wanted so much to take this pawn. Let's take with a check.
Yeah, that's the easiest one, I agree. So pretty much anything wins. It's hard to go wrong for Beydullayeva.
With 21 minutes on the clock, I think it's quite safe.
Yeah, on both.
Active in the on the top boards, because on the 7, white won the game already in the game. That's board.
This one. Right. All right. Hey, if you're talking leading group, we've got one game each in both.
Yeah, in here, king is a bit too active, so it's in danger.
A check over there, f2, d4, queen g4, king e3, and then rook e1 wins. Is that right? No, never mind. Rook e1, king f2. It does, yeah. Check. Or not really, no. Somehow it doesn't. But what wins then?
Queen h4?
Look, this is winning, and queen h4, not the most obvious. And if this queen g5, yes. If king f3, something else. Not.
If king f.
Yeah, that's good. Something else should win. I'm not sure what. Queen h, maybe. Yeah. But that's not the easiest way. Once again, that's not the easiest way. Okay, she goes for queen g5. But I don't quite get it. King e2.
You wanna check and...
and the thing was a check.
Smart.
Okay, that's
even
so
better.
much better.
Yeah,
much better. And if to d3, it actually keeps the game going. I mean, unless you return to this previous line that we had, right? But you give a check this, and she goes to 4, I guess. And then eventually you move the rook, right? It's only one check. Anyway, black somehow wins. Like somehow wins.
Yeah, we have this position already.
Yeah, already king d3, queen f5. It's a method, if you method of exclusion, that is, right? So go to c3, go to e file, it's a check with rook. And d4 is the only move, and then rook e1, I believe.
After, like, king d4 and rook e1, if you give a check, b7 and c7 covers the king.
Rook e7.
Yeah. Queen is hanging. f1 is a threat, so that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, this is it. And this will conclude the girls top boards without a single draw. I mean, just to to be completely sure that there will be no draw. I'm checking board in, and on a top board, white seems to be winning. So
Yeah, and also
as many as
you were
10 boards,
talking
right?
about white winning most of the games. I see that except of this one first board, white won on the 7th.
King played, and it's last move to find for Beydullayeva pretty much. And Rook E1 is not the only one, I believe. It will prolong the game unnecessarily if you go
Oh, we have it
elsewhere.
in it.
She did play, right? Rook E1, was it?
I see the move yet.
But yeah, the game.
Yeah, Rook E1.
Yeah, Rook to E1, and this is Black's win, and Beydullayeva becomes the sole leader of the tournament.
Oh, she plays really nicely all these games that we have seen her, and she is the leader for past few days already, and we have been observing her game for some time already.
Okay, and so that pretty much leaves us with only this one game.